how to relax your mind and body from anxiety. If you're looking for innovative ideas to relieve more stress so that you could be more creative and innovative, this video is for you. First, we're going to talk about how Grandma and Grandpa might have been onto something when it came to those nature walks or sitting on the porch. Second, if you're horrible at meditation because you have what they call monkey mind, we're going to discover something that's more your speed. And you're going to gain 4 more new strategies that you can use. So if you're ready to get started and let go of some of that stress, stay tuned. So you might be asking yourself, why is a futurist talking to me about anxiety? Well, the fact of the matter is that anxiety is an emotion that all humans can feel. Now, I'm not a therapist, so I'm not talking about people who have chronic anxiety or anything like that, or any kind of medical diagnosis. I am not qualified to give you information. But for those of us that just deal with just everyday normal anxiety that might actually be becoming more every day because the world is changing so fast, I have some tips to help you, because here's the challenge. We can't have anxiety and fear and be creative and innovative at the same time. Our brain doesn't allow us to do both. Think about it. If you're running from a bear, you're not running from the bear having innovative ideas. You got to get away from the bear first, right? You're tackling one thing at a time. So we're going to look at some tactics that maybe you haven't heard of before. Let's see. The first tactic I want to share with you is called forest bathing. Now, contrary to what you might be thinking, no, I'm not telling you to go get naked in the forest. That's not what I'm saying at all. Now, if you do that, that's on you. Don't upload any video or photo comments here of that, though. Keep that to yourself. Forest bathing simply means you're going out into nature and you're soaking up the sounds, you're soaking up the sights, and you're just being present. Now, this is something that I do without even knowing that term originally. I've done it for years. My favorite thing to do is to go into rainforests and just be. Now, some people like the beach. They like putting their feet in the ocean water, and that's lovely. I enjoy that too. But for me, the ultimate place to relax is in the rainforest. And I've been in rainforests all over the world. My favorite is the Amazon rainforest because it kind of reminds me of Alice in Wonderland, where you see things that you never see in everyday life. You'll see, I have pictures of turtles with triangle-shaped heads. You see monkeys all around you. I've seen ants that are bigger than my thumb, that if they sting you, they actually put you in a coma for 3 days. There's some interesting and strange things out there. There's leaves that are bigger than my whole body. Just amazing things that you see. But what I noticed about myself is that just being present in that space and sitting still and just looking around. Now, not too long, because when you're in the Amazon, there's things like caiman that'll come and bite you too. So watch where you're sitting. It could be dangerous. But the point is that just sitting there in nature is relaxing. And so many of us have access to city parks if we don't live near nature. Some of you might even live in the middle of nature right now. But taking that time just to be and relax and not have thoughts and not have those phones and not have any electronics is a great way to de-stress. So Grandma and Grandpa coming to sit on that porch every day or taking their walks, they knew what they were doing. Are you bad at meditation? If so, just raise your hand. I feel some of you. I feel some of you right now. So if you've ever taken a formal meditation class, one of the things they talk about is monkey mind, depending on the type of meditation that you're doing. And that is just the fact that your mind is ping-ponging between different ideas. When you try to hold still, it's putting other things in your mind. There's many different ways to meditate and get to a space of calm. But for some of us, it's just not possible. And if you're one of those people, that's okay. There's something called guided daydreaming. So that's very different than meditation. What that is that you're listening to some type of audio prompt where someone's guiding you through a daydream. So it might be going into a park. It might be imagining yourself, chasing after a frog. You might shrink. You might fly with butterflies, wherever they're taking you to. So it's not the same as meditation where you're trying to completely clear yourself of thoughts, but it allows you to give over control of your thoughts to someone else for them to help you imagine a less stressful situation. So if you're bad at meditation, it's okay, no judgment. Try using guided daydreaming. For this next one, let's go ahead and dig into our childhood for clay and Play-Doh sculpting. Do you remember being a kid and you're playing with Play-Doh and maybe you had the little attachments with the spaghetti and stuff? There was something about manipulating the clay or the Play-Doh that was just fun. And as an adult, there's something about this hand motion that's calming. It doesn't mean that you have to create a masterpiece. I'll share with you, I am horrible at making anything that's recognizable on Play-Doh or using clay. Horrible. I'm the worst person you've ever seen, but it's still a relaxing activity. So perhaps the goal is to create something beautiful. Maybe you're trying to create some type of coffee mug, or perhaps the goal is just to play with it itself. But that's another way to let go of stress. It's something about working your hands and concentrating on a small thing that can help us not think about some of the other things that might be causing us stress. I'm curious to know, if you're just putting in the comments right now, what do you currently do to de-stress? How do you clear your brain after you've been experiencing a great deal of anxiety? Go ahead and share your secret in the comments, and maybe you're going to help somebody else who's watching the video. So the next one I'm going to share with you, if I can be honest, is something that I have not done myself yet. Just been so busy I haven't done it, but many of my friends have done it, and that's floating tanks. So right now you can go to places where they have these salt water tanks. You sit in them, you float for a certain period of time, and it's supposed to basically create some type of sensory deprivation. I know people who absolutely swear by it. I think this would be a really great alternative for people who do not enjoy massage. So for instance, me, I love massages. I need people to get in there and I tell them, I want you to imagine I'm a 300-pound man. You can't hurt me. Elbows, knees, get in there, right? But then you look at somebody like my husband who does not like massage or to be rubbed at all. So a sensory deprivation experience probably would be a better way for someone like him to relax. So there's another suggestion for you. 2 more tips to go. Have you ever tried Zentangle drawing? You're probably like, what in the world is a Zentangle? Is she saying something? You've probably done it, or you know other people who do it all the time. All that is creating pictures using repetitive shapes or patterns. And for some people, the fact that they're not having to think about what they're drawing, it's not like you're trying to recreate something you've seen in life, it's just patterns drawing. It can be very calming for people because it's just a repetitive process, just like chanting, but you're doing it with your hands. And the very last thing I would suggest for you when it comes to relieving anxiety is finding ways to incorporate nature into your primary space. So whether we're talking about your living space or your office, that might be adding plants. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You might be thinking, oh my gosh, I'm horrible with plants. That's my story. But guess what? There's all kinds of plants you can use. Now, yes, you can get fake plants and it'll give you the illusion. So that might work for you. That might be an option. For me, it doesn't work as well because it doesn't feel right to me. And so I need real plants. So I have tons of plants in my office and around my home. But you might be thinking to yourself, how are you maintaining them, Crystal, if you say that you're horrible with plants? And keep in mind, I'm always on the road too. So I'm a plug out a company. I get nothing from them, but I'm sharing my secret with you. There's a company called Easy Plant, where you basically water your plants once every 30 days and keep it moving. There's like a reservoir at the bottom. And so that's what I do. I just water all my plants once a month and they look amazing all over the place. And I find that having that natural element adds a little something. The other thing that I do is I always have fresh flowers in my home or in my office. Now, for some, it might be you picking things out of your garden. Maybe if you grow some of your flowers, you can pick those. That's a really great cost-effective way to do it. For me, I get them from the grocery store. I grab a couple bunches of different types of flowers, clip them, kind of play with them a little bit to be artistic, thinking I'm doing something, and I create these beautiful bouquets that make me feel good. So just having those natural elements around. Some people buy little mini water fountains so they can hear the sound of water cycling through their space. Whatever works for you, do it, but find a way to incorporate a little bit of nature into your space so that it's almost like a baby version of what we talked about at first, where you're doing that nature bathing. So if you're wanting to relieve anxiety, one of the reasons we said we wanted to do it is so that we could be more creative and innovative. If we want to be more creative and innovative, it's because we're looking at how we're going to fare into the future. What you're going to notice is that in the description of this video, there's a link to download the Future Ready Playbook. This is a playbook I designed just for you that's chock full of activities and worksheets that are going to help you become more prepared for the future. So if you haven't already downloaded it, do it right now.